Hey, I'm Bro. Welcome to Meet the Crew. Today we're going to talk to Rob here at Brodustrial Light Magic.
Hey, what's going on, man?
So, thanks for coming down here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Rob Wojo. Everybody calls me Wojo. It's a lot simpler. Let's see. I have been in advertising and graphic design, creative director, art director for over 30 years. Started my career in California, working for a movie poster company where we did the movie posters and big standees, and got to meet a lot of really awesome, cool people. And from there, my career just spanned everything regarding creative.
So what led you into costume making?
When I was over a short period of time, I had lost my mother, my sister, and my father. And I've always loved Star Wars. It was just something that kind of really drew me real close to my mother. And by chance, I happened to stumble across a 501st post, and then going into a little bit deeper and deeper, and then finally showed up at a troupe where I met Ralph, one of our guys, and from there it flourished, and I created my first costume and joined. And the first costume was the Kylo Ren.
Besides the costuming, you're one of our main prop guys.
Wow.
Was that also something that you had when you joined the groups, or is that something that kind of came secondary to
I've always been a very curious person as far as prop building, going to the movie sets and stuff to be able to take the still photographs for the movie posters. I always, got in real close and looked at this stuff, and I've always had a knack for it. I always loved doing models and things. And then when, the chance came, I just started doing more and more and more and try to learn something new every single day. If not, it's a wasted day. At least that's what my grandfather used to tell me.
That's good advice.
So
what's your favorite thing about doing, what we're doing here now?
Oh my God, everything. I mean, we're doing so much. I mean, we're doing everything from costuming to the props to, animatronics, 3D printing. I've been helping out a lot of the guys with the 3D printing. I love everything about 3D printing.
When I got into this, I didn't have a huge background in anything, and when I joined a lot earlier than a lot of the guys, and there wasn't a lot out there, and so it was very basic stuff. But I'm very quick to learn stuff, and you have all these. You got like Mike and some of the other members. You have the art, the Photoshop and the technical ability there. You've got the 3D printing, the even with the wood, and just working with everything is very helpful. How long have you been 3D printing?
For a little over 5 years.
Okay.
So it actually originally started with a 3D printer that wasn't even printing plastic. It was actually using gypsum, like the same thing that's in sheetrock. And what it would do is, calibrate out and put it in there. And the only way you could harden it is you sprayed it with a hardener. And
that's crazy.
and that was the thing of 3D printing. I had gone to a trade show, back then, and found. As somebody who was selling 3D printing, they were doing a lot of 3D printing of skulls and stuff like that, so that they could use dental equipment on these things. And I must have spent 45 minutes with this guy just picking his brain. And then it came upon where I could, actually use it and do a costume for my daughter.
Yes.
And that was where it really kind of started there.
That was your first real major Star Wars costuming / prop project was the Seventh Sister.
The Seventh Sister.
For Chrissy, right?
Yeah, for Chrissy.
That came out so good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. And she really wanted to be a part of everything that we do. That was one of her big things. She's like, Dad, I love what you guys do. How do I get involved? And I got her involved in a lot of the cleaning up of the armor pieces, and then having her figure out the gauntlets, which was a whole nother story with that. From that, and then also doing the saber guard was 3D printed and created for her costume, and then from there it just kind of went bananas.
yeah, because we always talk with every member. We talk about it. We're all pretty much all family members. You know, we have families and kids and everything, and they're always involved in some way or another. And it's not like we have to force them into it. They usually just maybe tag along to an event, and then they see like, you know, wow, my mom or dad or both are doing such good work and having so much fun. I want to be part of it too. So it's a great way to get the younger generation involved in helping others in charity work without just drilling it in their head and forcing them and preaching to them, you need to do this.
Yeah.
To be, it's like, hey, listen, we're going to go have some fun. If you want to come, tag along, go ahead. And I want to do that too. Next thing you know, they're all in costumes.
Yeah,
So,
it's become a family affair, you know, between, she loves trooping, especially, I get to spend that quality time with her, and my wife, you know, she's not into wearing the costume,
Yep.
she'll definitely be there to spot and, you know, and check everything out.
Yeah,
So
that's
make sure we're safe, but especially with the limited vision in a lot of the costumes that we do wear.
Yeah, we people who don't stay in costumes act as spotters and helpers, and they're probably almost as important, if not more important, than us, because we can't see, or we need to get around, or somebody might be waving for us to take a picture or go see somebody, and we can't see that.
Yeah.
But it's great because doing all this, you don't ever have to sacrifice time with your family, because generally they're there in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So, which is really nice. You know, you mentioned Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the coolest thing on the planet right now. It was the buzz of all last year,
Yep.
building it. Why don't you give us just a brief history of how that came about?
Well, with the Han Solo, you know, again, I was over here helping out, and I was like, "Hey, what's this?" And kind of blew it off. And, you know, it's like, "Oh, this is Han's head." And you're like, "Yeah," and there's his torso, and his legs are somewhere over there. It's kind of like, you know, Chewie finding C-3PO. I'm like, "Oh, look at this." And you're like, "You think you could do something with it?" I was like, "You know what? I got an idea. If we want to make this lightweight for us to carry the troops, because, you know, a normal one is going to weigh anywhere from 100 to maybe 100.5, depending upon the material you use." So, you know, I was lucky enough that you guys believed in my talents as far as the sculpting and you know, putting this together. You know, was able to do the research, really make his face more accurate, you know, screen accurate than it was. Same thing with the hands and so forth, and became, you know, a labor of love. Every little piece, you know, had something different that I found out, you know, like the little side panels were actually 1972 Volvo dashboard panels.
Yeah, yep.
You know, just inverted and used that. You know, so the research part of it was the most fascinating, but then actually building it and giving, you know, giving back. I wanted to give something back to our guys. You know, because I mean, this is my second family.
Yeah.
And so, you know, after a couple hard weeks of work and having you guys come over for a couple building barbecues. You know, it was more barbecue than build.
More barbecue than build, but a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
But you had to, did you have to learn some new skills for that?
I did. I actually, you know, researched a lot of materials that had good adhesive properties as far as for the back of it. A lot of resins were used, different types of bondos. Actually, a flooring compound was used on there, and then you know, the mold making, we used a quick 90-second set material with fiberglass backing to it, and it holds up awesome. I mean,
and it even, you took like your 3D printing skills, which you already had,
Yep.
but then turned that into making molds.
Oh, yeah,
to
that
be
for
able to
all
cast
the
that
little
for- so you
greeblies
don't-
and everything.
You don't want to sit there and have to print 8 or 9,
No.
panels over and over again.
Definitely not.
And now we can also, give them to help build the other garrison members if they want some north, south, or central.
Absolutely.
We can help them out. So again,
Absolutely.
it's all about giving back. That's
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
What other new projects do you have, if you're willing to share?
2 that I'm willing to share. I'm just now finishing up my Return of the Jedi Vader, which I'm super excited about. You know, I have the 2 other costumes. I have Kylo Ren, which is, you know, very for the younger generation. I have the Sand Trooper. You know, I like to call him Captain Roadblock. You move along,
Yep.
move along. You know,
Yep.
and that I spent a great deal of time making sure that it was screen accurate with the greeblies and everything for the backpack, and 3D printing that stuff, and actually getting the actual backpack for that.
He's that levels we have in our 501st Legion, they have different levels of costume accuracy.
Yes.
Right? Did you strive to get any of those?
Yeah, I'm striving right now. I'm actually submitting that to the Stormtrooper, the MEPD detachment.
Sandtrooper detachment to get, and because again, anybody can, I can make a Sandtrooper costume, and as long as it's accurate to the basic standard, looks like the costume, and it's dirty, that's good. But you're talking about like the backpack is the actual parts, the accurate parts, the greeblies, the little details that might be pushed up a little bit or out of place just to look like one specific character.
Yeah, the slight crack in the sleeve, in the mouthpiece, and then there's the black gaffer's tape on the shoulder.
Right.
That most people don't see that when they're watching the movie, but it's there. There's a lot of little details to it. And then the other thing is 3D printed an entire pit droid.
Yes,
which we named L4RRY for Larry, and he is our sanitation droid.
Yep.
So working on the Death Star.
A couple of us, over the pandemic, and with some of our Christmas, presents to ourselves, I guess is the best way to put it. Invested in 3D printers.
Yes.
And you helped me put mine together. You helped Dave put his together.
Yep.
I know you've helped some of the other members, get theirs tweaked in.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've there's different places out there, the Droid Division.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these other places that offer files, whether it's for free or if you pay for it, or join the club.
Yep.
And then you have access to this whole world of droids.
Oh yeah,
And,
there's so many.
They're working on one of the new droids in the back. You've got the pit droid, right? We've got a couple other ones in the works.
Yep.
So it's an exciting time.
And then there's one secret project that we really can't say too much about, but we're going to be teaming up with another YouTube channel.
Nice.
And we're gonna get some really cool things going with them.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
awesome.
gonna be really cool. That'll be, and hopefully we'll have a lot more events this year. And if not this year, but definitely by 2022.
Yeah.
And we'll our event display will be off the hook with such cool.
Oh yeah,
cool things going on.
Really, the only troop we really have going right now is that polar bear plunge, where we go into the icy Atlantic with our buckets on, so freezing our buckets off.
So what's been your favorite troop so far? In your years?
Oh man, there has been so many, but the two that really stick out in my mind, obviously, is my very first troop, where you were my mentor. Basically there.
Yep.
And, that was for the New Jersey Devils. There were so many fans and so many great patrons there, and that was amazing. But the one that always gets me every single year is the Sunshine Foundation's, the one where they send Dreamlift,
right.
Where they send the kids to Disney for the day. And I tell you what, sometimes I thank God I wear that bucket, because
it's tough.
It kind of really makes your problems very, very small.
Yep.
And we're turning these moments into memories for these kids, and that's part of the whole reason why I love doing this, and I love sharing my knowledge of the prop making and costuming with everybody, because we're only here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And to turn those moments into lifelong memories there's no other feeling like it.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And guys like you, and pretty much all of our members, our crew members, also, besides helping each other in this fun little atmosphere, take on administrative roles in the 501st Legion, Rebel Legion, droid builders. They're all volunteer groups, but they still have a command structure, just like any volunteer group, with commanding officers, executive officers, membership officers, event coordinators. So you've always been involved in a little bit, but now you also, this year, you're part of the command staff, right?
Yes, actually, I'm now the one of two GMLs that we have. Actually, both members of the command staff that are GMLs are of Brodustrial.
Right, and that's, what does that stand for people who don't know?
Right,
it's the membership liaison.
Right, it's the general membership liaison.
Right. So you basically, when somebody joins with a costume and they have to get approval, they submit to either you or Joe B or to this current year's GMLs.
Yes.
So if there's something wrong with it, you help them overcome those things. You also check all the references in the group to make sure that it's accurate.
Absolutely, yeah. We go through the CRL with a fine-tooth comb, and you know, if there's something that we can't really decipher on, because you can only get so much from a photograph
Yep.
unless you see it in person, and you know, photo is misleading sometimes.
Yeah.
And then so that way we have the other detachments we can reach out to and all that. But you know, I've always prided myself on having a very good eye for detail. You know, I think that's what kind of has kept me going for 30 years in graphic design and advertising. Is, you know, that eye to do that.
Yeah, and it's great because, you know, as part of the Brodustrial crew, you know, you're helping these new members, and if they're really struggling, it's like, hey, come on down. Let's, you know, give you some hands-on help. And that's really what we're all about too. Is, you know, is helping others and getting them to that level where they can get submitted, join, and then you know, get involved in all the trooping. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're the guys who kind of hear it when somebody's costume doesn't get there. But we're, you know, like I've been telling all the new submissions is that, you know, look, you know, we want you to succeed. You know, we want you. So we've kind of been going in more so at the early stages of their builds and telling them, okay, this needs to be tweaked before you submit it, and then, you know, you put all this energy, love, and everything into it, and then somebody takes you out at the knees because something's not right. And I know I've been there. You know, so we're trying to smooth that a lot better.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that even though it's a volunteer group and we're doing it for fun, we kind of do get a lot of negative, you know, attacks here or there because people don't like what they hear, and it's like you gotta have that personality to kind of, like, you know, explain it to them and soften a blow and encourage them and do it in a positive way, a positive reinforcement to get them over, because there's nothing more disappointing than building something thinking you're perfect and then being told no, everything about it is wrong. You got to start over, or even just a little piece is wrong, you know, you got to start over. So that's a skill all by itself. And we learn that by helping people here all the time.
And it's trial and error. Everything is trial and error. You know, like, you know, I wasn't really great at 3D printing when I first started doing it. I've had my spaghetti messes and stuff like that. You know, not so much recently, but you know, I mean, it's just everything's a learn. If you don't learn, you know, every single day from something, you know, it's not going to benefit you or anyone else.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to us, and we thank you for being part of our crew.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
These guys are working close to Han. We better go check to make sure they didn't damage them or accidentally start unfreezing them.
Oh man, that would be bad.
All right.